Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today at noon. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Mary, and you can do your introductions.
Well, I'll turn it over to Jeff. Jeff Prufnick is our Associate Dean in the Graduate School, and he's got a couple slides just to refamiliarize people with AMP.
Yes, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. Are we all seeing my screen? Yes. All right. So again, I'm Jeff Prufnick, Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Student Affairs in the Graduate School. Thanks so much for giving us some time to talk about our AMP Accelerated Master's Pathway program. I know most of you are already familiar with the program, but I just have a few slides here to remind people of some of the essential points before we move on to a discussion from some of our program directors. So AMP is a pilot. We're in our second year. Our expectation is that it'll go through the formal approval process either this semester or in the fall, and then it'll be in the grad bulletin and have an attribute and be fully official. But we've had a great experience so far in our pilot. It provides a pathway to earn graduate level credit as part of undergraduate studies or while still considered an undergraduate student. We like to say that, AMP credits count for both undergrad and grad degrees because that's an easy way for a student to understand it, but it's more that they're kind of taking more advanced classes and being allowed to not take some of their undergraduate courses or fulfill all of those requirements or count those more advanced classes towards the lower requirements. And again, a way we present it to students is to incentivize them is that they will save money on tuition here because those credits are counting towards 2 degrees if they go on into a master's program. And for most students, it's going to decrease their time to a master's degree because they're already getting that early start through AMP. AMP is, of course, very similar to A grade, though it has some important differences. So this is a slide that kind of shows those differences. And this is, again, why we created AMP. It provides different kinds of opportunities to students. One of those is to get in a little earlier when you're only 75 credits in versus 90, which is the A grade minimum. We do have a 3.0 GPA, but it can be up to program discretion if they would like it to be higher. But the big difference with AMP is that it allows students to go pretty cleanly across program to program outside of their major, across colleges. So the real spirit or the impetus to create AMP was to provide that opportunity to take advantage of those A grade items, but being able to go across colleges and to allow us to kind of manage it a little more centrally or keep records better by having that application process go through the grad school, which we'll hear a little bit more of in a moment. And then just a couple of caveats we like to mention to people that students do need to earn a B in those AMP classes for them to count. Again, when a student is admitted into AMP, that gives them the ability to take master's level courses in particular programs. And again, sometimes those particular courses are themselves restricted a bit, but they're not actually admitted into the master's program. They would still have to apply and gain admission that way. And then we also restrict students to taking only 2 graduate level courses per semester. That's just to make sure they don't get overwhelmed. So again, these are our current AMP pilot programs. We expect we may add 1 or 2 in this pilot phase, but this is where we're at right now. And we're going to hear from the directors of some of these today. So that's a quick AMP overview.
And Jeff, we're going to hear from Natalie too on the coursework plan. She's just going to give us a quick look at the plan and some of the changes we've made so the advisors can be familiar with that.
Great.
You're muted, Natalie.
Okay. Hello, I'm Natalie Walker here in the graduate school. I'm going to go over the coursework plan. This is a tool we created for students that are eligible for AMP, and this is a way for us to ensure that they've spoken to both their undergraduate and the AMP graduate advisor before registering for a course. Okay. Oh gosh, I see just you guys. So are you seeing the coursework plan?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. That's I was toggling back and forth through all my screens. Okay, so the coursework plan is divided into 3 sections. It's initiated by the student, and the student starts by filling out the top part, which is the student information. They give us both their AMP program of choice as well as what their undergraduate major is and their undergraduate advisor. And this is important because this is how the form gets routed to you in your departments. The section of the form that is assigned to you as the undergraduate advisor is here in the middle. And what we are asking you to do is to just review that student's coursework and to note whether or not they are on track progressing with their undergraduate degree. And then we also provide a section for you to provide any notes or information necessary for the AMP advisor when they're selecting courses for that student. And then the bottom section of the form is completed with the student and the AMP graduate advisor for the program that they've selected. This form is housed in dynamic forms, and we chose that because it allows us to assign specific sections to each person. So the student can't go in and then complete the undergraduate and the AMP advisor sections without meeting with those people, because you have to sign and then move the form forward for them. Once all three sections of the form are complete, it'll come back to us at the graduate school. I review them, and then completed form, a copy is sent to the student, you, and the AMP graduate advisor.
Any questions, comments?
Yes, I have a question. Is the AMP graduate advisor in the graduate school or the department?
The department.
Okay.
So it's the AMP, the graduate department that is hosting the AMP program.
So would that be a graduate advisor? I mean, if we only, so, or is it still the undergrad advisor that's doing the AMPs also?
It is the person designated by that department. That person could be a graduate advisor, and it can also be an undergrad advisor. It depends on who that department is designated.
Okay.
Okay, should we go on to our 5 new programs? I believe Dr. Akins is here from Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Dr. Akins, do you want to kick it off?
Okay, can I get the screen?
Yes, you can share.
Okay, so it's not that. We just started, so we don't have a whole lot to say or show. This is our 2-year master's program for traditional master's students. So the first semester they take 2 core courses, 4 credits each in the journal club. They don't register credits for them. And then they do research in the winter full time, or sometimes they'll take 1 more course related to their thesis. And then they do research in the summer. In the second year, it's usually entirely research and journal club. And so we have, we're doing case by case. Right now, we just have 1 student in that came in pretty late as a senior. But here's a scenario where they could, in the first scenario, they could take everything that I just showed you in the last slide if they've gotten their coursework out of the way. And then they would be essentially starting in their second year on research. Here's a scenario where they, if they're still taking a lot of undergrad courses, they take a reduced number of courses that are crossed out here in the fall and winter, and then they can catch up in the spring, summer, and second year. And another scenario, if they're even more occupied with undergrad courses, they can take light versions in the first and second semester and catch up by adding a spring, summer of research at the end. And there's all kinds of combinations depending on what coursework the student has had and how many credits they still need to take in their undergrad program. So I don't know if there's other information you wanted, or that's all I was planning on saying.
Any questions? Well, let's go on to Dr. Brush in the basic medical science program.
Okay. Let's see here. Sorry, I trying to share my screen. Is it showing?
It is. You
Okay,
can make
great.
it a little bigger, maybe.
For some reason I can't see it, but let's see.
We see it.
Okay. So yes, the Master of Science in Basic Medical Sciences program has been in existence for several decades, and I've been the director for the last 10 years or so. And I just wanted to mention that our go-to person contact for our group is Juliana Barjawi, who's our program management specialist. So we're housed in the School of Medicine, and our mission, the mission that was originally put forth and continues to this day, is to have a interdisciplinary program that provides education in the core biomedical disciplines. And the purpose of this at the time was to essentially, in some ways, and it still is, to give students a second chance in terms of improving their GPA if they want to get into medical school or dental school or some other biomedical professional school. So its program is appropriate for individuals with a bachelor's degree in areas like biology and chemistry, et cetera, because these are the students that are typically looking to go into medical school or dental school. And who we're looking for are students who are interested in a career in health, obviously. We also like to have students who have taken pre-health undergraduate courses. In other words, the requirements for medical or dental school. Biology courses, chemistry courses, and physics courses. Included in that is the famed organic chemistry courses too. And we are, as the guidelines for that Jeff just went through, we're looking for students with a GPA greater than 3.0 and obviously who have completed 75 credits. I should say that this in the master's program itself, over all the years I've been here, the average GPA of a student who's admitted into the program is 3.2 or 3.3, somewhere around there. So I think this is the 3.0 is a fine cutoff for this. So we have a number of, it's a Plan B master's program. So there's no research. They can do research if they want for credit, but it's really just didactic lectures in all these different biology disciplines. And so these are our core courses now. There are also the availability for tons of different elective courses because it's all the courses in the School of Medicine graduate level courses are available. But these core courses are the ones that the medical schools and dental schools like to see, and they like to see students having taken these and gotten a 3.7 GPA taking these courses. So for the undergraduates who are taking these courses, we like the idea that you're limiting it to 2 courses because that's the number of courses we want the master's students to take, and it's tough. I mean, these are, as you all know, graduate level courses are pretty rigorous. So it'll be easy to fit them in the seniors with a 2-course type of plan. And you can see there are all sorts of different areas here that are covered. The pathway to a degree is to pass at least 4 core courses in different disciplines. So and a pass, of course, is a B or better. Write a master's essay on a health-related topic. It's a Plan B master. So they write this essay, which is essentially a review article on an area of interest to them, and they choose an advisor and some readers to help them with that. And the completion is with 34 credits with a GPA of greater than 3.0. And one other thing I wanted to mention here that's been quite successful for us. Something that we've added is we've gotten a linkage agreement with the Wayne State School of Medicine. So if these students have a GPA of 3.7 or higher after completing 20 credits of didactic biology courses and no grade of less than a B, and an MCAT score in the 61st percentile or higher, they get automatically granted an interview with the School of Medicine. And this year, I was just talking to Juliana about this, and I think we had maybe 5 people who got into this medical school off of this after having the interview from the linkage agreement. So I think it's a pretty successful plan that we have going forward. So so that's it in a nutshell. I'm really happy that this possibility is here, because it'd be really great to be able to recruit undergraduates into the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Akins. We're going to now go to Dr. Thipparthi in Immunology and Microbiology.
Well, my camera is not working. I have a quick question for you guys. Why Teams? Why not Zoom? Because I don't know how to really work with Teams. I had a hard time. So every time I come on Teams, I'll try to share. I have only one slide. I don't even know where my slide is with this Teams.
The share button's in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, okay, I do that. And
If you have your slide active on your desktop,
yeah,
then you can select it once you're in the share mode.
can't really find maybe something wrong with my Teams, I think, or maybe could I really do the last? I think I can send you, Mary, you can really put it on the Teams. Yeah, let me do that, I think.
If you want to give us a summary too, we could do that, or we can go to Megan Faucett in the Pharmacy College to talk about the Masters of Health Administration.
Yeah, I think why can't I really, I can wait. I think let me email to you, then you can really, share my, then I can go ahead and 1 second.
So while we're doing that, Megan, would you like to go ahead?
Absolutely. Can you, I can't see you guys anymore. Can you see the slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so our program, again, we take a holistic review of the applicant. We want to have that 3.0 GPA, but we do consider like if they've got like work experience or other exposures, we do take it case by case. So the health administration program is fully online, and it's an asynchronous format and accelerated courses. So there's 7 weeks each. So they go by fast. So we like our students to be aware that they are accelerated. So not only are they graduate level courses, they're also going by really fast. So they have to just be prepared for that. And there are potential synchronous touch points throughout the courses. So it gives them a chance to, again, learn from the expert faculty members, because we do bring in industry experts for all of our courses. And students who are in the AMP program, they take the 4 core classes. So they'll cover like an overview of health organizations, finance and budgeting, quality and safety, and then some organizational management. So these courses are the prerequisites and needed for all the electives in the program. So if they decide to come back and do the full masters, they can just go right on to the electives and then complete their capstone project at the very end. Any questions?
Okay, Dr. Thipparthi, I still don't have your slides, so why don't we go to Rebekah
Yeah,
McBride?
I sent you, Mary.
Yeah, I have not received it yet.
Okay.
Why don't we go to Rebekah in computer science?
Hi, yeah, let me go ahead and share just a couple slides with you. All right, and are you seeing that?
Mhm.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so our master's in computer science degree here in the College of Engineering, it's a 30 credit program. We do offer it both online and in person. So we've really been trying to make some strides to make that program more accessible to a lot of our students. One thing about the Master's of Computer Science degree is it is pretty strict with the prerequisites. I kind of just included a bit about our information, typically showing that students do need to have a pretty extensive list of prerequisites to enter the CS program, which is a bit different than some of our other engineering degrees, which are a bit more interdisciplinary and accept kind of a broader range of STEM or engineering degrees. So for that reason, AMP was a really good opportunity to kind of expand eligibility to a lot of different Wayne State undergrads who are not specifically in the Bachelor's of Computer Science program. So some of the kind of specific prerequisites, students are really able to be eligible for AMP just by completing the computer science minor, which is about 30 credits and really contains all of those significant prerequisite courses. And that's, again, one of the main benefits is we're trying to expand that eligibility pool, and AMP is going to make that possible. We mirrored some of our already existing A-grade guidelines. So requiring 75 undergraduate credits for students, that is that AMP guideline. But we do have a bit higher GPA requirement with a cumulative 3.3. And then similarly, a grade of a B or better in those courses. And our students are able to include up to 16 credits of graduate coursework, which is a high number. Again, students having to complete the additional minor, the computer science minor, may not be able to, max out those 16 credits, but it is an option. And another thing that's kind of nice with our elective options, the MS Computer Science degree has, as you can see, a pretty extensive list of elective options. Really, any 5,000 through 7,000 level computer science course can apply as an elective credit towards that Master's of Computer Science program. So for our students who are eligible for AMP and looking to take some of those additional courses during undergrad, we have a lot of options to hopefully make that possible and kind of increase our students participating in AMP and making the graduate computer science program available across the board to some Wayne State undergrads. So it's just a bit of an overview of kind of what we're introducing. Then if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to talk about them.
Thank you, Rebekah. Professor Thipparthi, I do have your slide now, so let me get that up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I have only one slide for this AMP program, and we don't have any student currently enrolled in our AMP program. And our mission is just to provide high quality biomedical scientific education and opportunities to perform pioneering research, enabling our diverse body of students and scholars to develop into scientific leaders in 3 disciplines. We have 3 disciplines in our graduate program. One is immunology, the second one is bacteriology, and then third one is virology. So I have curtailed just what is required for the AMP program. Basically, we have master's program, regular master's program, mainly the thesis oriented, research thesis oriented, and the students mainly go to the medical school or PhD after they have strengthened their CV with publications and then everything. We have 30 credits regular masters, but the difference here between 30 credits and for the AMP program is that in the AMP program, we have only, based on Mary's suggestion, We have included 16 credits, and that too for the undergraduate student who is seeking a AMP program in our graduate program in his final year or in her final year of a fall semester. They have to do a 2-credit course, that is the fundamentals of research, and then critical thinking, and then problem solving. That is altogether this is 3 credits. And then in the winter semester, since they are going to join in virology, bacteriology, or immunology, we would like to have the students take any of the 2 courses, immunology, bacteriology, or virology course. Each discipline is for 2 credits. And in general, master students take all 3 credits. In addition to that, they take BMB 7010 biochemistry also, but we have exempted for the AMP students. They don't need to take all the courses plus biochemistry course, which is a kind of really tough course too. But when they come to the 5th year, they are going to spend whole year only on the research, whatever they choose. That is for IM 8999. And also we gave them a experience to the student how to present publications and papers. There is a seminar course is there, seminar journal club is there. That's a BMB 7890. So altogether, it's going to be 16 credits. So right now, as I mentioned, right now we don't have any AMP students, but we'll be happy to accept any students who are interested in our program. But only the thing is that what I would like to know is that before we accept, I wish we could have some kind of guidance or advisor from the undergraduate level, which student is coming here, and then without that, it's pretty difficult to guide any student into our program. Yeah, this is the only one slide I have. Any questions?
So your question was to the advisors, how do we get students? How can we recruit undergraduate students?
No, my question is if we know if the student, you said that student can choose all by themselves, which program they wanted to do, or do we get a connection with the graduate, undergraduate advisor, so that we can properly guide him or guide her what courses they need to enroll? Because, for example, I had a student yesterday, I had a Zoom meeting, and I didn't know where student came from. So that's why I couldn't guide him properly. It's too late also for him to really join in our AMP program. But if a student at the beginning of the senior year, if they are interested in AMP program, if they can really send me an email, definitely I think we can really guide them what courses they need to take combined with their undergraduate courses. And at the same time, they can find the appropriate laboratories also.
So maybe another way of asking that is that form that you showed us right at the beginning. How do we become aware of that form coming to our department? Is it emailed, or we get a link, or what happens there?
Hi. So I'm going to back up. So during the application process, your department is reviewing the students that are submitting applications to be a part of AMP. And so you'll be aware of the student before that form gets to you, because you would have deemed them eligible to be a part of the program
how are we aware of this question?
You're reviewing the application when they submit it.
And that we get that how?
That would go to Juliana, who is your reader in AMP, and she would review the application.
And then in terms of knowing who their undergraduate advisor is, the form that I showed you at the beginning of the meeting will have the undergraduate advisor listed, and that person would have reviewed their work and by the time the student gets to you to sit down and review courses, that undergrad advisor information is on that form for you to be able to know who to contact for that student.
I still don't get it. Do we have to do something to be aware of all this, or does something come to us in the very beginning for a student?
Well, we use the slate system. So Natalie, you can correct me on this, but your program reader, each program has designated program readers. They receive notifications when a student is in the system. Is
Yeah.
that correct, Natalie?
Yes.
So we need to check on Slate at intervals to see if somebody's on there.
Yeah, Juliana will be doing that. She's the person that's designated to review applicants for your program in there. So she's aware of the students that are applying and the students that she has deemed eligible to be a part of AMP.
Juliana's part of biochemistry too, because she's in basic medical sciences. I mean, is
I'm
she
sorry,
for
I'm
all the
mixing you guys up. My
departments?
apologies.
Yeah.
No, I don't have everyone listed, but there's a designated person for each AMP program that reviews those applications when they come into the system.
Got it.
So the
Yeah.
initial application is different from the coursework plan. The coursework plan is really just a tool in place to make sure that undergraduate student meets with both their undergraduate advisor and then also the AMP advisor, and then it helps them designate the initial courses they're going to take so that they're not trying to register for courses, any course that they want, which in most cases they won't be able to. But in that tool will have information on there that includes the student's undergraduate advisor information, that if during that meeting or during the process you need to reach out to them, you'll have that information.
Sometime before the meeting's over, could one of you open Slate on the screen and show us where we're supposed to go to see this? It was confusing to me last year and I forget how I did it. Because it's not where our normal applicants are on Slate.
And we
Do you
could do that outside of the meeting
Yeah.
if that would be helpful.
Or just record it on something and send it around.
I have a form that a fact sheet that I'll send to you with the steps on how to access it.
I have a question. Is it so if I'm remembering my A grade correctly, the student doesn't get a graduate record generated, obviously, till they get into the grad program. And those classes that are being used for both undergrad and grad, from my understanding, before they had to be in the grad program at least one full semester before those courses would appear on their grad record. Is that still the same?
Well, with AMP, it's going to operate like A grade. Once they are accepted into the master's program and they begin the only master's program, then the courses are transferred onto the transcript. So in A grade, as we all know, they use the attribute, and that mechanics is what we're looking at now. We hopefully will find something a little bit better than that system, which has been clunky for everybody involved. But once they are in the master's program, then the courses can be transferred by the registrar's office over into their graduate transcript. Does that answer it, Kate? Is that?
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious how the mechanics work. I'm assuming it's kind of a manual process. You have to ask the registrar to do that, and yeah, I would imagine. And so I'm just thinking also, I think it's fantastic that the BMS program is participating in this because so former pre-med advisor, I know what a fantastic resource that master's degree is for students preparing for medical school. And I'm hoping that that would serve them for other med school, not just Wayne State's, that degree would be recognized and those credits would be recognized as legitimate prereqs wherever they go.
Yeah, and yeah, so thank you very much. Yeah, the students go to many different medical and dental schools, and we have quite a reputation right now, which is nice. In fact, the U of D dental school, they send people that they think are on the edge to our program. But also, yeah, I mean, the people are applying to all sorts of medical schools and are having successes. So, yeah. One other thing I should mention, not to go on and on, but one of the problems we have in the program is the students it's a 2-year, essentially a 2-year master's program. And the students who want to go to medical school or dental school are in a hurry. You know, that's a long time for them, right? So we've implemented some, you know, we're trying to get a graduate certificate program that only takes a year, which might be good enough for them. But also this AMP program is perfect for it because, you know, they'll already have gotten a year under their belt before they enter the master's program. So then it's just a year and they can apply. So I think it's a nice mechanism.
Any other questions?
I have one question in terms of like the students, how do they become aware of the program? I mean, is it something that's advertised to them by undergraduate advisors? And
Jeff, do you want to take that one?
Well, that's part of why we're having meetings like this to help spread the word. And we do have the programs listed on our website. And as we move out of this pilot stage, we're looking at better ways to advertise all the programs to undergraduates at the right moment for them. What I will also mention is, as many of you I'm sure are aware, there's an A-grade scholarship that covers up to 4 credits of a student's tuition per semester for their first 2 master's only semesters. That scholarship is also available to AMP students as well, so they also have that scholarship benefit.
That's great.
And that scholarship application is now open through March 6th. So all the AMP programs have been advised of that, but thank you for mentioning that, Jeff. That's a very important factor here.
2 comments in the chat. One advisor is asking if there's a flyer available that lists out the programs and additional details that I can maybe get out on the, excuse me, on the advisor listserv.
We do have a website, and I'll put that link in the chat.
Awesome. And one of the social work advisors just said, you know, they're a social work advisor and the AMP advisor for the School of Social Work. And he's hosted info sessions for his students to make them aware of the option. Question about a link for the scholarship application.
I can put that in as well.
Perfect.
And that initial form too.
Any other questions for our presenters?
The chat box says it's not available.
Yeah, I can't put it in the chat.
Oh, that's Mary, if you
It
want
looks
to
like it's a members only chat, looks like.
Oh, well, that's something I'm going to have to look into.
We can certainly get those documents over to you.
Yeah, I can send you all those links, Amanda, if you want to send it out to your listserv.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll put this recording with those links all in the same message so that the advisors are getting all that information at once.
I think we probably all want the links.
Okay, I can pass those along.
Other questions?
And Dr. Akins, you wanted the coursework plan document as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we will get those all out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to everyone that presented today. This is really great information. And I know there are several advisors that couldn't be here today because of a conflicting event that are very much looking forward to getting the recording as well as the links. So I will definitely get those out by the end of the week to those of you that are here.
Okay.
So I have a question.